jokes about. Acha, look at this question. So, expansion of liquids, thermal expansion of liquids is what we are doing. Since liquids don't have their own shape, that's why there is nothing called linear or superficial expansion for liquids. We have only volume expansion for liquids. Alright? Now, most importantly, liquids cannot be kept without a container, and that's why it takes up the shape of the container and also the volume of the container. Alright? Now, this is a situation being explained over here that a liquid is kept inside this flask, and there is a rubber cork through which a thin glass tube is taken, and initial level of the liquid in the glass tube is marked as 8. That means in the glass tube liquid जो है वो कौन सा मार्किंग तक है वीरेंद्र? पहले समझ लो उसके बाद लिखना, ठीक है? यहाँ पर बोर्ड में पहले the liquid was up to the mark A. Alright? Now when we start supplying heat, when we supply heat energy using a Bunsen burner to this flask, what change in the level do we experience? Now, आगे it will come down and then it will go up. Why? Listen to it very carefully, one by one. When we supply heat energy, किसको heat पहले मिलेगा? A glass vessel या liquid को? So the vessel will expand first. So if the container expands, then the level of the liquid will come down. So पहले वो थोड़ा नीचे आएगा, and then जब liquid को heat मिलेगा, again it will start expanding. So obviously visible. First it comes to the point B, and then it goes to the point C. ठीक है? So this A to C, this part is called apparent expansion. Apparent expansion. This B to C is called real expansion. Real expansion. And this A to B is called expansion of solid. Expansion of container. Here, so what we can say is real expansion is equal to apparent expansion plus volume expansion of solid. Okay? So in liquids, we have two different types of expansion: the real expansion and the apparent expansion. Apparent expansion is the expansion from A to C. A থেকে C অবধি হচ্ছে apparent expansion, আর B থেকে C যেটা সেটা হচ্ছে real expansion. বোঝা গেছে? কেন real কেন apparent সেটা বোঝা গেছে? Is this clear to all of you? Now I have a question. The question is, if I say that the real expansion is delta VR and the apparent expansion is delta VA and the volume expansion of solid is delta VS, then initially solid and liquid both have the same volume because the liquid takes up the volume of the solid, container volume take occupy করে. So what happens if we divide everything by initial volume into changing temperature? Then do you remember what is this? Volume coefficient of volume expansion, right? This is gamma R. This is gamma A, and this is gamma for the solid. Here, so this is the relation between coefficient of real expansion, coefficient of apparent expansion, and this is the coefficient of volume expansion. Coefficient of real expansion, coefficient of volume expansion, and this is the coefficient of expansion of solid. Fair enough? Yes or no?
So একটা পেন
না
এনে
হবে কি সেটা দেখে তুমি খাতায় লিখতে হবে বোর্ডে লিখতে হবে হয়েছে এটা সো here so of course for volume for final volume you can write v equal to v2 equal to v1 into 1 plus gamma delta t gamma r delta t okay the final volume now you know there is a relation between volume and density. What is the relation? Volume and density মধ্যে
আর মাস বাই ভলিউম হ্যাঁ
কি
ভলিউম হচ্ছে মাস বাই ডেনসিটি
volume হচ্ছে mass by
ডেনসিটি
right so you can write mass by final density equal to mass by initial density into 1 plus gamma delta t. What am I writing? कुछ भी नहीं volume को mass by density लिख रहे हैं अब mass दोनों सिचुएशन में सेम ही था mass चेंज नहीं करता है ना टेंपरेचर से so we can cancel this out from both sides so what we get is
মাস
rho 2 equal to rho 1 into 1 plus gamma r delta t whole to the power minus 1 you agree with this
यस सर
I just made a reciprocal
हां
सिर्फ reciprocal किया reciprocal कर सकते हैं now you have studied in binomial theorem if you have a negative index then this negative index if we expand this binomially and if we expand this binomially and neglect the higher order terms then this minus 1 will only come in front over here so you can write this as rho 2 equal to rho 1 into 1 minus gamma r delta t but beside it you should always mention expanding binomially
neglecting higher order
and neglecting higher order terms neglecting higher order terms expanding binomially and neglecting higher order terms so this rho 2 is the final density and rho 1 is the initial density rho 2 is the final density and rho 1 is the initial density all right density और को कंसंट्रेट करो पेडागोगी के আমি বলে বলছি
আচ্ছা রিপিট ডিস্টার্ব হচ্ছে
আরে স্যার আমি কি ধীরে কি একটা দোষ দিয়ে দিল তো করে নিচে বকবক করে যাচ্ছে আর পেড়ে থেকে দোষ দিল
এটাই তো
the relation between density right fair enough